What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 121, and we start today's episode off by seeing that Harry Kane has now been sold to Sevilla for £12 million, and that Carl Darlow, Nottingham Forest, have accepted a 420 grand deal for the goalkeeper. And as this is Saturday morning for you guys, if you would like another episode of Career Mode today, I did promise we could have a quadruple weekend once again. If you can get this video to 1,000 likes, then we will upload another episode of Career Mode later on tonight. So there's your challenge, 1,000 likes. I know it's a lot to ask for, but I'm sure you guys can do it. 1,000 likes on this video, and we will upload another episode of Career Mode later on tonight. But anyway, yeah, you see straight after that Lewis Holtby is the subject of a transfer offer from Sunderland. We don't really want to sell Holtby though. He's 82 overall, 27 years old. He's got some very, very decent stats as well. There's 4-star skills and 4-star weak foot, so we asked for 27 million, and also we go ahead and reject the bid that Hanover made for Friars in the last episode, because I don't really want to see him go. He is a decent squad player. Also, Danny Welbeck has joined the club on a 4-year deal at 70 grand per week for £7.5 million plus Adebayor. We sold Harry Kane, a 79 overall centre forward, for £12 million. We pick up Welbeck for 7.5 million plus Adebayor. He's an 80 rated striker, very, very decent stats, and I must admit, I'm very pleased with the business there. I think I've done quite well with that one, to be honest. So Welbeck comes in, and I'm very, very happy about it. But after that, we saw we had another pre-season friendly here, the third one. It was against Real Madrid, and look at Real Madrid's side, man. Seriously, it's changed so much. We took them on at White Hart Lane. Once again, we simulated it, of course. It was Holtby who gave us the goal, and Sturridge came off the bench to score for us too, to make it 2-0, and that was how the game finished. So 3 wins out of 3 pre-season friendlies is very nice. We got another transfer offer after that for one of our random 60-odd rated players. There's quite a few of them at Spurs here, so we're trying to get rid of them as much as possible. That guy looks like he's on his way to Middlesbrough, and also Sunderland aren't going to match the £27 million deal for Lewis Holtby, which is not a real surprise. And also Carl Darlow has accepted the contract, so we do go ahead and sign a new goalkeeper here. 27 years old, 240 grand valuation, and he's 68 overall, so he's not actually as good as I was hoping. I thought he might be a 70 or possibly a 71, but he's not actually as good as I was hoping. But he's only 27 years old, and goalkeepers do tend to peak towards their late 20s and early 30s. I would imagine he could still do quite well for us in terms of growth and possibly get into the 70s, who knows. But after that, we decided to go in for a new player here. Once again, Fabian Schär, can't remember how you pronounce that really, but anyway, this guy here from Basel. We looked at him in the last episode, but we didn't really know whether we wanted to spend so much money on him, because although he's 84 overall and a very decent centre-back at only 26 years old, he is going to be quite an expensive one for us. And as you know, this is one of our last signings for us in this career mode with Spurs here. This will be one of our last signings of the window if we get him in. It's quite a lot of money, so I wasn't really sure, but I put in a new bid and we'll wait and see what happens. But United, now they've sold Welbeck, they want a new striker, because clearly Adebayor's not going to be good enough for them. They offer £13 million for Oliveira, but I don't really want to see him go, so we asked for £30 million, and obviously they're not going to sell us way too much really. But after that, we went back in for another player. Once again, Stephen Corker at Cardiff. We offer Cardiff £7 million for the former Spurs player, to see whether we can get him back at White Hart Lane or not, because I would like to see him rejoin Spurs. I think he's a very decent centre-half. I've said before, I'm a very, very big fan of his. And also United will not match the the £30 million offer we asked for Nelson Oliveira. Basel want £14.8 million for Schär, so we're going to be happy with a £13 million deal, plus that random goalkeeper who's 61 overall. So we put in £13 million, and we'll wait and see what they say. But Cardiff actually accepted the £7 million deal for Stephen Corker, so that is a lot cheaper than I was thinking. I thought we'd have to go to at least £10 million for Corker, but clearly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't seem to value him that much, and he will let him go for £7 million. And straight after that, we saw that FC Basel had accepted a £13 million deal plus that random keeper for Fabian Schär. So we offer an 80 grand a week contract for 4 years on crucial first team player status. And after that, we saw that Corker had accepted a contract, so we were in the market for 2 centre-backs in Corker and Schär, and we already had Corker join the club for £7 million. So I was thinking about stalling it and possibly picking up Schär instead, but to be honest, as I said before, I like to get English talent for an English club. Like with Italy, with Napoli, I wanted to get Italian talent. I'm one of those people really who just seem to be so focused on homegrown players and players of the same nationality as the club you manage. And to be honest, Corker, 81 overall, for for £7 million, only 26 years old. I think he's going to be a very decent player for us. So he's going to go into the heart of our defence, and I'm very happy to get Corker back at White Hart Lane. We put in a bid for Tom Ince after that, but of course you guys should know by now, Tom Ince, we always put bids in for him, whatever club we manage, but we never get hold of him. But after that, I thought I'd show you the squad and how it's set up for the first game of the season. It's a 3-5-2, Lloris, Chiriquez, Corker, Gutierrez, Fernando and Paulinho, the holding midfielders, then Carrasco and Lamela on the wings, Holtby is the playmaker, and Sturridge and Welbeck are currently playing, Sturridge and Nelson Oliveira are playing up top. So yeah, a very, very decent, strong first 11. Only one player is under 80 for overall, and that is of course Leal Gutierrez, but 20 years old and 79 overall. I'm pretty sure he's going to be hitting 80 very soon. So the squad is very, very strong. We've brought quite a few players already here at Spurs. We've sold quite a few players already as well. You know, and when we joined Napoli for the first time during this career mode for half a season, we managed Napoli, and we were managing a side that the AI had kind of built themselves, and that's why I didn't really find Napoli too interesting for the first half of the season. But with Spurs here, we've came in, and instead of just taking a squad that the AI have, we've basically made it our own already. We've already changed so many players here at Spurs, and it really does feel like we're building our own squad already, and that's great, it really is. But we do take on Grua West Ham for the first game of today's episode, as Sam Allardyce comes to White Hart Lane to take us on. And of course, with a lot of new players in the side, I was a little bit worried that we'd get off to a bad start, to be honest, and it would take some time to gel. And to be honest, my fears were probably in the right place, because West Ham did have the first chance of the game as Collison played this ball out wide to Blair Turgott. He crossed the ball into the centre, and Ricardo Vazquez's header just went wide of the post, and West Ham almost took a shock lead just 12 minutes in, but thankfully they didn't. However, from the goal kick, Lloris plays it out to Eric Lamela, and Lamela goes down the left-hand side and finds Nelson Oliveira, who gets past Jordan Spence with the fake shot, keeps on going, chips the ball inside to Lewis Holtby. His shot hits the post, but it comes back to him, and the playmaker makes it 1-0 to Spurs. So 13 minutes in, we almost went behind to West Ham. Instead, we had the lead, and it was Lewis Holtby that got it. So I was very pleased with that goal as well. It was a nice little breakout from the goal kick. You know, it really was some nice passing down the left-hand side, and a nice little chip inside to Holtby, and the finish was really good. And you know, I'm sure we could get better playmakers than Holtby to play CAM. I'm sure we could do that, but to be honest, at 82 overall, 27 years old, I'd imagine he's still got 1, possibly 2 ratings to grow, and he does look very, very good. You know, as a playmaker, he's got all the stats you want. So I am thinking about possibly replacing him, but I wouldn't mind keeping him either for this season, and maybe look to replace him next year. Who knows? But I like Holtby, so we can keep him in the club for the time being. And he does get the first goal of the new era here at Spurs. And in the 15th minute, you see Ryan Carrasco get onto the ball for us, a new signing of course. Carrasco gets past his man, nice little 1-2 with Daniel Sturridge here. It's Carrasco who keeps on going, crosses the ball to the far post, there's Sturridge, but his header goes wide of Adrian's post. So still 1-0, but a couple of good chances for us here. In the 24th minute, though, a corner is crossed in towards Leal Gutierrez, and his header hits the bar, and then the follow-up save was brilliantly stopped by Adrian. So Nelson Oliveira and Gutierrez together somehow couldn't find the back of the net. Great save by Adrian, really, and of course Gutierrez had to hit the bar, so still 1-0, but we were playing so well, really. Other than that early scare, it looked very, very likely we'd get a second goal in time. And in the 27th minute, another great chance for us as the cross finds Daniel Sturridge at the far post, but his shot was well saved, and West Ham cleared the ball away. So we were looking so, you know, we were trying so hard to get our second goal of this game, really, but we just couldn't seem to put the ball in the back of the net. This cross was well dealt with, and West Ham was still just about managing to get the ball away, but they weren't clearing it very well, and eventually you see Kevin Nolan give the ball away here. Chiriquez wins it and finds Paulinho, gives the ball to Carrasco, who fake shots around Kevin Nolan and shoots from just outside the area, but it doesn't dip, and it does indeed go over the bar. So really, really action-packed first half an hour here at White Hart Lane, and that's the thing I'm going to like about this side. It does look like it's got a lot of goals in them, just like the Napoli side. We scored so many goals with Napoli in the Serie A, and I think we could do the same with Spurs here in the Premier League. So it's really offensively set up, and we were attacking really well. And as I said, it was only going to be a matter of time before we did score the second goal. And in the 32nd minute, Lamela's cross found the head of Daniel Sturridge, and he put the ball past the goalkeeper into the back of the net and does his trademark sort of wave celebration there. So Sturridge makes it 2-0, and yeah, we do take a 2-goal lead in this game 32 minutes in. So good goal by Sturridge, and I was very happy to make sure we would have a 2-goal cushion. In the 54th minute, another great chance for us as Chiriquez finds Brian Carrasco down the right hand side. Nice little Ronaldo chop, and the Berber spin is tackle, but it comes back to Fernando. Fernando gives it to Carrasco. Carrasco gets past Potts with a lovely little Berber spin, ends up swinging the ball to the far post towards Nelson Oliveira, who goes for the header, but unfortunately as he goes down, he stays down, and unfortunately on the first day of the season we get an injury, and it is the Portuguese Portuguese striker Nelson Oliveira. He unfortunately does sprain his knee and will be out for a few weeks. We bring on Danny Welbeck for his debut. We also brought on Towns for Lamela, and also Tom Carroll came on for Fernando, I think it was. So make 3 changes there, and it's never nice to see a player get injured really, but that's exactly why I'm glad we signed Danny Welbeck. So we've got a very decent 80 plus rated striker to play on the come off the bench if we need him. So Welbeck comes on, Oliveira gets subbed off, and thankfully it's not a serious injury, and as we were 2-0 up, it wasn't really going to be that bad anyway. In the 67th minute though, how about this? Lewis Holtby gets played forward here, but as the ball gets played back to Adrian, the goalkeeper gives the ball away, and it is the simplest of finishes for Danny Welbeck. He just came off the bench and he gets a goal on his debut as well, and it was one of those really where you just look at the goalkeeper and you think, why on earth do you take 2 touches there? Just boot the ball away first time, don't even take 1 touch, just boot it, and instead he ran into Danny Welbeck and it was the simplest of finishes. So Spurs 3, West Ham 0, and again West Ham trying to play out from the back, they give the ball away here as Tompkins loses out to Danny Welbeck, and for 2 goals on his debut they could not have been easier. Welbeck makes it 4-0 and the game is sewn up there. So a 4-0 victory. West Ham made it so easy for us, they really did, and a comprehensive 4-0 victory is our first win from our first game as Spurs manager, and I'm very, very happy with that. But as always guys, a big thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget 1,000 likes for another episode of Career Mode tonight. There's going to be lots of business in that episode again, so 1,000 likes for another episode of Career Mode, and hopefully I'll see you for that episode later on tonight.
See you then.